Buh, buh, buh. What do you mean? Well, if you are trying to watch TikTok, then like, why did you why'd you watch the vid, buddy? Buddy. What's up, buh? Hold on. I know you can only see the stream because I'm doing something. Gotta hide my cheats, you know? Alright, bruh. Alright, bruh. Alright, bruh. Bye. Scoopball. Don't worry, I'll show the main screen in a second. I just trying to fix this thing. It's annoying. Buh, 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 buh. Um, um, hold on. Where is this? Where is the thing I'm trying to find? Okay. I'm the best at making people bored, by the way. Um, Hello, Misu. Hello. I know you can only see this. I'm trying to do something on my main monitor. Cause I need to fix something. Your head broke? Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy that your head broke, bro. Now, may I ask, how are you talking then? I know. I know you meant headset. Abdad Gadig. You cussed 3S on fire? Holy moly. Make my own cheat server, but I don't. I know I make cheats, but like I'm not the person to really like release them. You know what I mean, right? Okay. You know what? To make you guys extra entertained, should I play a horror game? This is an offer, not a promise. Just saying. Okay, what horror game should I play? Oh yeah, I forgot. Alright. I don't know. I don't know. Can you join? No. You cannot join. Also, who the heck are you, bro? Who's the guy who said like, can we join? Like, I feel like I know this dude, bro. Ooh. I might try to get this guy. tired. Bum ba bum. I stink. Oh. Bah. Bro, I just really sold right there, bro. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Bro, I can't log in, I'm tired. Cause I stayed up too late talking to you. Well, it wasn't even that late, but, you know. I was already tired when I was talking to you, you know that. Buddy. Bye. Diddy bye. Buh. Buddy baby. Buh. No. Easy. Really, nobody else in the game said GG. That's pretty mean. Buddy, what? Boy, what? Huh? Bro, alright. Bar! But. Hey, diddy, bud. How did I miss all those? How? Bro. I still get him. Bud. I first want to hit that headshot. Bro, I wanna win the game. No! Bro. I just need to get one kill, bro. Just one. Dude. Bro, what? Boo. Boo, 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 boo. Yo. Seriously? Bro! Could have won that. Why am I lagging? Holy crap. You guys see that? Holy crud. Why am I lagging so hard? You see that? Look at that. Look at the FPS counter. It is. Look up here. Look up here. 65? Yo, that's unheard of. Yo, why is it so bad? Yo, it's actually like so laggy for no reason. I might have a memory leak. Usually to fix those, I would have to restart my PC. Which means I would have to stop the stream. Yo, I actually can't play the game. Wait, no. Yo. Hmm. Thanks. Ugh. I don't want to do this one though. I don't want to do a test. Okay. Man, I suck. I suck at typing. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, this thing's trolling. Yeah, let's do it. Let's watch some YouTube. Oh, Lord. I have so much time until open house, bro. Wait, so let's think. 1 hour. So. I have 4 hours and 30 minutes left. Into open house. Yo, look at this guy,
So yeah,
yo.
that's a great question.
Caleb, this is basically you, but like just one arm, you know?
You're probably wondering on how someone like me with these things uses a mouse and a keyboard. So with the mouse, I don't really play mouse keyboard games. I use controller for obvious reasons. But if I do, I have the mouse at the edge of the desk like this, and I use my right finger to...
Yeah, because guess what? I'm not rich. Also, I've had this PC for quite a while, so deal with it.
hover over the mouse like this, and then I point and click. I also use foot pedals that kind of help me out, but like I said, I use controller for the most part. For just navigating the PC or navigating anything else within the computer, I just take my right elbow, put it on the right side of the mouse, left elbow, and like this, and if I need to click something, click, 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 and that's about it. For the keyboard, I just use my elbows, and I just type away. Fastest WPM for me is about 52, 56, just depending on how I feel. And I prefer smaller keyboards like this without the extra stuff on the right. I think it's called the 75% or 65%. It's easier to have the mouse and the keyboard closer. So yeah, that's a great question. You're probably wondering on how someone like me with these things uses a mouse.
Like, I'm on Windows 10. Yep.
Alright guys,
Like I said,
today I'm
you
going to be
just-
walking you through the best OBS, Streamlabs, and NVIDIA app settings for the best performance and video quality when recording or streaming. But before we get into that, I want to mention our Paragon Trap House Discord server, which you can find in the description of this video. That's going to have our PC help channel, our files and links channel, even PC part picker lists for all different budgets, and a welcoming community for anything PC or gaming related. If there's anything you need, any questions you have from this video, any of our other videos, or you're looking for even more information, the Discord is where you're going to want to go. And then for our services, we do a ton of services. We have services for all computers. There's tweaks, which are just performance enhancing, overclocking, which is overclocking, you're increasing the amount of power to your components. We have streaming and recording services to
just
set up
bored.
your dual PC stream, single PC stream, recording settings,
Also,
whatever you're
I
going to
might
need
as
for
well
your
try to
streaming
use
setups,
this.
and our networking services as well, which are going to help you reduce ping and buffer bloat for when you're playing your games. So now I'm going to get into the OBS Studio is what we're going to start with. And so the first thing I'm going to want to mention for OBS Studio and Streamlabs Desktop is you're going to want to right click the shortcut that you have for it, hit Properties, go to Compatibility, and check the box for Run this program as administrator. You want to do this for both of these because if they're not running as administrator, sometimes they will not pick up the game on the first try. And so it just makes the process smooth.
Ooh. Okay, well, this video's for you, I guess.
Smoother if you make sure to run everything as admin. So like I said, we're going to get started with OBS Studio. So when you run it as admin, it's likely going to show up a pop-up and you're just going to want to hit yes on that pop-up. Then your OBS Studio should open as normal. If you are just now installing OBS for the first time, you're likely going to get a setup wizard. You can just hit cancel on all that. You don't need to go through the setup wizard. I'm going to be walking you through that right now. That is just an automated setup procedure, which you can go through and it will do your settings moderately decently, but I'm going to be walking you through the best settings for playing and recording or streaming at the same time. So the first and most important step is your scene layout. So you're gonna have your scenes and your sources, and you're gonna want to start with a game scene. So the game scene is going to be, you know, where your game is. You can have alerts or your webcam on top of this, but the reason that we're gonna have a game scene is because we're going to separate your game and display scenes from each other. That way a display capture never shows up on your game scene. Display capture is going to feel terrible on both OBS and Streamlabs, and so you're going to want to only be playing your game on game capture. If in the past you haven't been able to capture your game using game capture, that should be fixed by running the program as administrator. So make sure that you're using game capture whenever you can. When you add the game capture, as long as OBS is running as administrator, the capture any full screen application should always capture your game. And if it doesn't, you can choose capture.
Bro, why is everyone
window,
so mean to me in chat? What do you mean? What are we doing? I'm just watching a video, bro.
Any full screen application. If your application should, but the reason that we're going to have a game.
Yup. Why not?
Scene is because we're going to separate your game and display scenes from each other. That way a display capture never shows up on your game scene. Display capture is going to feel terrible on both OBS and Streamlabs, and so you're going to want to only be playing your game on game capture. If in the past you haven't been able to capture your game using game capture, that should be fixed by running the program as administrator. So make sure that you're using game capture whenever you can. When you add the game capture, as long as OBS is running as administrator, the capture any full screen application should always capture your game. And if it doesn't, you can choose capture specific window and choose the window here. But it almost certainly will work on capture any full screen application. If you're just going to record 60 FPS videos and stream at 60 FPS, recording at above 60 FPS is only for certain conditions, like if you're going to do slow motion and you have more than 60 hertz or 60 FPS on your game. But if you're going to stream, you're not going to want to stream at 120 FPS because streaming at 120 FPS reduces the bitrate by half. So all of your bitrate gets sent to Twitch, but Twitch is only going to accept 60 FPS. So if you're wasting your 6000 bitrate on 120 FPS, you're going to half your bitrate, effectively lowering your quality, but for a smoother gameplay. And it just doesn't look nearly as good quality-wise, and everyone is used to 60 FPS, so just stick with 60 FPS. And if you are recording and or streaming at 60 FPS, you're gonna wanna check the box for limit capture frame rate. Now you can, for Twitch, split your audio, and you can either split your audio using a software like Voicemeeter or by doing specific application captures. So you can enable this capture audio checkbox, and then you can go through the audio for all your different applications by checking this box and adding another application audio capture for each of your applications. But for this part of the tutorial, I'm going to leave that unchecked and we're just going to leave it as normal. So then if you want to ever show your display, you're going to want to create a separate scene for display capture. You're going to have to choose your screen. You don't ever want your display capture.
I'll be back.
To be on your game scene. You want these two to be completely separated. If you
Okay, you're gonna not be able to see something, okay? Just for a second.
capture audio, but for this part of the tutorial, for display capture, You're gonna have to choose your screen.
Okay.
You don't ever want your display capture to be on your game scene. You want these two to be completely separated.
Uh-huh.
If you have your game playing at stretched resolution, you're going to want to right click the game capture and hit transform and hit stretch to screen. That's going to make sure that the game capture, if it's capturing a game that's not at your native resolution, it will stretch the game to the native resolution, or at least your video resolution that OBS is set to. So now that we've got the two scenes and sources out of the way, we can start on our settings. So the important tabs here for this video are going to be the output and video tab. I'm going to start with the output tab because this is the most important. And so for the purposes of this video, you're going to want to change your output mode to advanced on the top. So you're going to have a couple of settings. The audio encoder, you can practically always leave default unless you know what you're doing. Don't mess with this. Your audio track, same thing. Unless you know what you're doing, no need to mess with it. Twitch VOD track, this is where that capturing specific applications comes in handy, because if you just want to split your music from your VOD so that music plays to your live audience but doesn't save to your VOD to avoid a DMCA, you can use this feature to accomplish that. There are plenty of videos and guides on how to do that, as well as we may upload one at some point, but I'm not going to be going through the removing music from your VOD today. So what we want to start with for streaming is the video encoder. You're going to have a few options here, most likely. You'll either have hardware encoding, which is going to be almost always designated with H.264. This is going to be the setting that you're going to want to select if you are playing single PC. You can use X264, but X264 is software encoding, and that's going to use your CPU, which is going to directly affect your gaming performance. But if you have an NVIDIA or an AMD or even an Intel graphics card, you're going to have a video encoder. In this case, I have an NVIDIA graphics card, so I have NVIDIA NVENC, but then some of you will have an AMD graphics card, and AMD has their AMD H.264 option. Intel has their quick sync option. In order of quality, I would say NVIDIA is the best, AMD second.
Okay. Guys, I'm going to stop the stream, but I will be back because I'm going to just change stuff.